Shall we talk about the car? I haven't made a video about this car since I bought it, and I have already done, let's see, 20,000 kilometers on it. That's 12,000 miles. I bought it in April and it's October now. But I've done a few trips to the UK, a few trips to Netherlands, so obviously that's a 4,000 kilometer 4,000 kilometer round trip.
Are you happy?
Yes. What do you think?
Yeah, I like it. The interior is crazy. Wood, whole cream interior.
Whoa, that lights up as well. As you can tell from the title of this video, I moved from a Porsche and a Range Rover to a Volvo, and many of you car fanatics and car fans and those who followed my channel because of my cars will wonder why. So if you watched one of my previous videos when I was looking for a house in Sweden, I said that when I move here I'm going to buy a Volvo and I'm going to live like a local rather than a foreigner living here. I was thinking of buying a Range Rover, but then I thought if I do that I will stand out like a sore thumb because there are not many Range Rovers around, and the second thing is if something goes wrong I will have to go to a big city to have it repaired. I live in the middle of nowhere in the countryside. I'd rather have a car that every local mechanic can deal with and get parts for. Of course it's a brand new car, it has a warranty and everything, but still anything can go wrong. I didn't want to have the hassle of having a foreign car. I remember once I came to Sweden and in the Porsche Boxster and the clutch failed, and it was like 3 weeks to 3 months was the earliest appointment I could get to have the clutch replaced. I made a video about it so you can go and watch it. It was an absolute nightmare. We had to drive it back to the UK with that clutch that was slipping and avoiding to change gears and staying behind trucks. So it was horrible, and I decided that it's better to buy a car that can be fixed locally. So the choices that I had were, I really liked the Volvo XC90, the one that I bought. I liked the Volvo XC60, which is a very nice car. It's the smaller version of this with 4 seats. This one has 7 seats. And then I also liked the V90 and also the V90 all-road. Very, very stylish, classic cars. They have the timeless designs that they don't age. All the Volvos that you see on the road, they've been around for so long. Like, you can look at a 20-year-old Volvo, it still looks good. They have these designers who design cars with timeless beauty, and I really like that. So anyhow, I test drove an XC90, an XC60, and I made some videos about that as well. You can see them on my channel. And then the reason I chose this one is because, you know, I'm obviously trying to live a simpler life and not being extravagant and changing my lifestyle. But I think if you do a very drastic change, there is a risk you could get fed up and fall back into your old habits. So going from a Porsche or a Range Rover or a Ferrari or Aston Martin or whatever to another car, I wanted to get something that had all the gizmos and gadgets and the luxuries that I am used to. If I'm going to have one car, I wanted it to be half decent. Maybe, I don't know, in a few years I might be driving a 20-year-old banger, because that's what I would want. Because when you live somewhere, your taste changes depending on the surroundings, your lifestyle, what you see every day, your eyes, and your, I don't know, taste gets used to it. It's funny that I've been looking at all these old American cars here because there's so many of them from the 50s and 60s, and they also have these American trucks, which, you know, the the one with the cabin at the front and this flatbed at the back, the Dodge Ram and things like that. And I was looking at one thinking, God, this looks so beefy and big and nice. I wish I had one of these. And it's bizarre. Before moving to Sweden, I would never even give that a second look. And now I was like, I could see myself in one of those. Obviously, I'm very short, so standing next to one or getting into one, it'll be like a mosquito getting into a car. But who cares? So, yeah. So I wanted to buy a car in the UK initially, which luckily I didn't, because I went and placed an order for a Volvo XC90 over there. The deal was very good. The price was 10,000 euros cheaper than Sweden, so I was very happy. The only problem was they could not give me a left-hand drive car, because they said no, Volvo will not allow the UK dealers to sell a left-hand drive car. And I thought, okay, maybe I can live with a right-hand drive car, so that's okay. But then I don't like tinted windows. That gangster look is not me. And they said no, the Ultimate Edition, the one that you want with everything in it, only comes with tinted windows. You can't have clear windows. And in Sweden, luckily, they had more options. So the car was 10,000 euros more expensive here than in the UK, because for some reason all the cars around Europe are more expensive than the UK. And then you could customize this car to how you wanted. So first thing was no tinted windows, so I had it clear windows all around. Even the dealer was surprised. He was like, everyone wants tinted windows, and I'm like, no, if I want to have tinted windows, I can have them tinted later on, but I have the option to remove it. And I'll show you, I got these tints for the summer that are I don't know how to describe it, but plastic shields that fit on the inside of the back windows, so you can darken all of that. So when I have my dog in the boot and it's summer, I'm going to the south of France, I can put those and it will keep the heat out. But when it's normal weather and I'm back in Sweden, I can just remove those and not be like a gangster. So the other thing was that I wanted the front grille to be the classic Volvo grille, and obviously I automatically got the left-hand drive car. So I thought, okay, in the long run, if I pay 10,000 more, then when I'm selling it, I will get 10,000 more. So it's the same with every car. Whatever price you pay, it depreciates accordingly. In the UK, cars are a lot cheaper. In Europe, they're more expensive. So what I like about this car is it's a hybrid, so it has electric motors and a 2-liter supercharged and turbo engine. So it has zero lag of any kind. I think it does 0 to 60 miles or 100 kilometers in 5 seconds or something stupid. It is really fast, and it's a 7-seater. It is really luxurious. It has all the things that I like, but it doesn't have those big screens and ugly digital things. It has a small normal screen that's recessed into the dashboard. It's not like a big iPad attached to your car, and all the front dashboard display is also classic rather than those tacky things with flashing lights and all that other stuff. So I really like that whole thing. The other thing that I like about this car is that the fuel consumption, which I didn't know about when I was buying it, but normally if I'm doing less than 100 kilometers, it does about 1 or 2 liters to 100 kilometers, because it uses the electric and the petrol motor together. So it only switches on the petrol when it needs to, otherwise it stays in the electric mode. And I thought the electric power alone won't be enough, but it is really good. It really shifts and pulls, and it's powerful. Very surprising. And then they had this other software upgrade that you could get from Volvo called Polestar Engineered Optimization. So basically it's just a fancy word for ECU remapping, where they give your car more brake horsepower, it shifts the gears more punchily or keeps them in gears longer, it lowers the suspension, so when you're going fast there's less wind drag or whatever it's called. So overall it is really amazing, and so I went and had that done. I think it was like £650 or something. It was very expensive, but the thing was you could have it done, and if you basically try it out for a month, and if you don't like it you can just have your money refunded and they would just disable or remove the software. Once I put it on, after like 2 days I was like, there's no way I'm going to turn this off or get a refund, because the car becomes a real beast. It goes from a normal SUV to this really fast, aggressive thing. I don't know how they've done it, but the sound of the engine also becomes quite loud and aggressive. So I was like, yeah, let's just keep it. It has adaptive cruise control, heads-up display, steering control. So all the things that I had in the Audi RS4, this has them as well. So when you're on the motorway, it just drives. You don't have to do anything. It's really, really good, very comfortable. One amazing thing in this car is it has so many safety features. And the other day I was driving in Norway and this person overtook me from the right hand side. While he was overtaking me, I was turning into that lane, but because of some reason, I don't know whether it was he was in my blind spot or whatever, I didn't see him, and he accelerated, and when he did, as I was turning, the car automatically turned the steering and put me back into my lane. And I'm like, and then I saw the car go past and I was like, wow, that was amazing, because I was going to crash into that car, and the Volvo sensed that there was someone coming from the other side and overtaking, so it shifted the steering and put me back in my lane. So I was like, very clever. It has so many features, like if you're driving and someone jumps in front of you, it automatically applies the brakes. If you I don't know, fall asleep behind the wheel or have a heart attack and die, the car will come to a complete standstill in the lane, and then it will switch on the hazard lights to tell others that, you know, you've stopped. And there's so many features. They say it's one of the safest cars made, and there's so many videos about it online, but I didn't buy it because it was the safest car. I just found out that it was the safest car once I bought it. Quite nice. It also has the camera in the front where it reads all the traffic signs, so if there's roadworks or something and the speed limit changes, it tells you, which is quite handy. Obviously air suspension, lots of different lights inside, big huge panoramic sunroof. I got a tow bar for my trailer. So I think I'll have to pull out the spec sheet, because I put everything that I could in this car, because I wanted to make sure that if I'm going to have one car, I'm going to keep it for a while. It has to have everything, otherwise you keep thinking, oh, I wish I had this, I wish I had that, and then you keep getting that urge to go and change the car. So I got the Bowers & Wilkins sound system, which is insane. When you're driving on a smooth Swedish road and you switch on the music, you don't hear anything. It's just fantastic. So really, really happy with the car. They had a special offer at the time where if you bought one of their black editions, then it was, I think, 6,000 euros cheaper. But it had the grille that looked like a Jaguar. It had tinted windows, and you could only choose between like 3 colors and either a grey or a black interior. And I was like, no, I want this cream interior or off-white or whatever it is, like kind of greyish white. And I wanted a blue, the denim blue, which is the popular Volvo color. So I was like, yeah, let's not compromise on these things, because I'm gonna look at it every day. And I think that's the mistake a lot of people make in their life. They compromise and go for the second best, and then they keep getting this urge to go and find that best thing. You shouldn't buy something unless you're 100% happy with it, and otherwise you'll keep having that issue. So just buy what you really want and then be happy with it. And if you can't, then get the cheapest thing that you can to get you by until such time that you have the money to buy what you really need. So yeah, that's my little advice. Other than that, what else can I tell you about this car? Heated steering wheel, heated and cooled seats. Cool seats, very useful when you're in the south of France and you're sweating like a pig. I used the aircon a few times this summer. It's really good, but I guess it's quite normal to expect a decent air conditioner these days in cars. I got these little cushions that were like, I don't know, 30-40 euros extra per headrest, but they make it very nice. It's very soft. The seats are very comfortable and very ergonomically designed, so when you're sitting in it, you feel wrapped around, cocooned in this. Also, the car has this feature where it senses if there's someone about to crash into the back of you. So there was once the car came really fast from behind and then swerved, but while it was coming in my direction, the seats just sort of cocooned me and grabbed me, and the seat belt got tightened. And I felt like the car was holding me, preparing me for impact. It's a lovely car. If you're considering buying an SUV, I would recommend that you should buy it because it's fantastic. I ordered the Range Rover Vogue, the autobiography edition, as you know, and I was on the waiting list for over a year and I still didn't have a slot or a date, and it had all the same things that this car has except for the rear wheel steering, which this doesn't have, and it was, I think, 50,000 euros more expensive than this one. So I think I saved 50,000 euros and bought something that is amazing and fantastic and doesn't have the bad reputation of the Range Rover of breaking down, which in all honesty, I've had a few Range Rovers in my life. I've never had any issues with them, but some people have issues, and then obviously people moan when they have an issue. No one talks about it when everything is hunky-dory and great. So yeah, so I'm very happy, and I think it was a good choice. Okay, well, thanks for watching this little video about the car, and let me know if you have any specific questions about the Volvo XC90. Now that I have it, I can hopefully answer your questions.